Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back. I'm so sorry that we missed our slot for last week. I feel really bad about it, but I wasn't feeling too well. I'm perfectly fine now. Today, I am doing a spin off of one of my friend's topics, I guess. We're having a conversation, and in that conversation, I realized that he was making a podcast and he brought a blog post about the same thing that I wanted to talk about on my channel this week, which is assumptions. But I am focusing on assumptions in relationships today. So if you want to hear what he has to say, he has like an electric voice. His site is blackolajide.com. He has blog posts there. He has his podcast on there. He does motivational speaking as well, so you can book him for events. He's also a pastor. I'll put all his information below. But yeah, today we're going to be talking about assumptions in relationships because up till quarantine, I did not realize how big a role assumptions play in relationships. This quarantine period, I was almost 100% convinced that like my boyfriend and I were not going to make it out alive. Like one of us was going to kill each other. Because the truth of the matter is that we spend a lot of time together, like on a normal day. But then there is that whole thing of knowing that aside from spending time with each other, we have buffers. So we spend time with other people as well. But in quarantine, it's me and you, it's you and I. We're here together every day, morning to night. We are there together. And the reason that that is an issue, especially for somebody like me, is the fact that I am an introvert and I love, love, love my space, guys. Wow. Before I entered this relationship, ask any of my friends, Sunday was sacred to me. I did not interact with anybody on Sunday. Don't call me on Sunday. Don't message me on Sunday. Just don't even enter my room on Sunday. Like, I'm gonna be by myself on Sunday, because if God can choose a day to rest, who am I, a mere mortal? So we have been together for this amount of time, and as expected, there have been a lot of small arguments, and a lot of them, in fact all of them, have been tied to the same thing, which is exactly why I said I must make this video today by force, by fire. I'm pretty sure a lot of other couples, regardless of how long you've been together, maybe even some friends that have isolated or quarantined together, or family members, have probably experienced the same thing. Assumptions. So let's start off with the first thing. The first thing is the most basic general ass assumptions. We would argue about the things that we thought the other person was trying to say. Now, when you've known each other for a very long time, I think we've known each other for we knew each other like as friends maybe like 3, 4, maybe 5 years ago now. When you know somebody to a certain level, it almost starts to play on both your minds that the person can probably basically read your mind. So even the smallest things, you feel like the person already knows them. So a scenario where you're going to the store and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, we've already talked about the fact that there's no milk, or there's something that is not in the fridge. You go to the store, you don't bring it back, you buy other things, that's nice, but you don't bring back this one thing that I felt like me and you already knew was not in the house. Already I'm salty. Like, I'm just I'm just trying to have some milk so that I can have some cereal. Like, I'm not asking for too much, Like, I just feel like you're being insensitive because you know that there's no milk. And yes, you don't take milk because you're lactose intolerant, but then I be drinking milk all day, Meanwhile, the person probably actually did not clock that there's no milk. Why? Because he doesn't even drink milk. One day, my beloved, the love of my life, was downstairs. He was in the car. He called me. I'm about to be at the door I just got this. I'm about to be at the door. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm in my room. The door is unlocked. So it's fine. Right? It's fine. He comes upstairs and he's like, guy, I told you that I was about to be at the door because I didn't really want to come all the way inside. I just wanted to drop it off and go somewhere else, and go and do this and that. And I'm like, yeah, but you didn't tell me that. But like, for some reason, we're expecting each other to understand and clock because we're constantly thinking about these things as far as common sense is concerned. Now, him on the other hand, if I told him, oh, I'm outside, etc, whatever, he would probably actually ask me, so do you want me to come to the door? Or do you want, because he'd be considerate like that. I, on the other hand, if you want something from me, you're going to have to tell me. Which is exactly why after that conversation, and when I realized that like these assumptions and like it was a communication issue, I was like, yeah, I'm going to need you to talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old. Like the things that you feel like I should know about you because I've known you for so long, tell me. And that's something that a lot of couples really need to do, is you have to stop basing the seriousness or the goodness of your relationship on how well you know each other, and give each other room to actually get to know each other. Like, yes, you can know somebody, but it doesn't mean that you know the nitty-gritties of that person. They are very small things, but there are things that it pays to know. It doesn't mean that you're going to do them all the time, but then at the same time, you have to leave room for people to let you know them on a different level. Second thing is the do you mean principle. And this one, we're reading a book together that he introduced me to. I can't remember the name of the book. I can't lie to you people. So let me just go and find it again. The Success Principles, from the guy that wrote Chicken Soup. I know he deserves way more than that, but like that's all I can give him right now. The guy that wrote Chicken Soup. I'm the type of person that a lot of times I'm like, yeah, there's no such thing as like gender roles when it comes to personalities. I strongly, like, I can defend it till my death that there's no such thing when it comes to gender roles. But you do have to acknowledge that in relationships, there are certain characteristics that the male will exhibit and certain characteristics that the female will exhibit. Let me not even go based on male and female. There are certain characteristics that one partner will exhibit and the other partner would not, and vice versa. So I feel like in a lot of relationships, especially like hetero relationships, because I've only been in hetero relationships, a lot of the time when something goes down or when a request is made and a woman needs to either accept or reject the request, or even just in normal conversation, women love to give information. Like, we love to give information because we love to receive information. So in the spirit of wanting to receive information, we are so thirsty to give information that if your partner asks you, can you do this, and you can't do it, you feel like you have to explain to them why, because you feel like it will give them peace of mind. A lot of guys, on the other hand, quote me or correct me if I'm wrong, but this is now not something that only I have experienced. I mean, it's in a book. So I feel like there's not a general consensus, but at least you're not mad, right? Guys do not feel the need to receive explanation for insignificant or little things, or to give them. You can ask a guy, can you do this? And he'll be like, nah, I can't do it. And as far as he's concerned, he has gotten to the end of the conversation. He has skipped all the random parts that you guys have to be going back and forth and just told you the answer. But a woman is thinking, so you're basically saying I'm not good enough for an explanation. Meanwhile, the guy is just thinking, let me save you the stress and just tell you that I ain't finna be doing that. Anyhow, so in the book, the guy is basically saying, like, there's a scenario where he comes back from work or something and his wife is like, can you clean out the garage this weekend? And he's like, no, I actually can't clean out the garage this weekend. Now, when your wife hears that, she's thinking, excuse me, what you finna mean by that? Or like someone like me, let me use Zoe now. If I'm like, oh, can you do this with Zoe this weekend? And he now says, no, he can't do it with Zoe this weekend. The first thing I'm thinking of, I'm just thinking, so all the hours that I have done this with her, you cannot even just do this with her one day or one weekend. Meanwhile, the reality of it is that the explanation for that is not even. So in a scenario where you're with somebody that doesn't know how to do that, you help them. And you help them because helping them means you're helping yourself. So I would say something, or he recommends I say something like, so do you mean that you have something else doing on during the weekend? Is that why? The person can tell you, yes, that's actually why, or no, that's not why. But basically, you're using the do you mean principle to give them room to know that you want an explanation. So you can say, do you mean this, and that might not be it. And then the person will be like, no, what I actually mean is, does that make sense? So on the one hand, you think to yourself, why should I have to lead somebody to an answer? On the other hand, you do have to realize that a lot of us have completely different communication skills. Like, I consider myself a very emotionally intelligent person. However, when I'm upset about things, it still takes being asked a certain number of times. Like, there's a quota of times I need to be asked something. And it's something that I'm working on, but then I do appreciate the fact that I don't have to be out here looking like a crazy person. The fact that you know that there's something wrong if you ask me more than once if I'm okay. Because I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet. I'll be looking out the window longingly. I'll be thinking to myself, like, in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, like, I wish I could just say this. But then I'm working on that, and I've spoken about the assertiveness. But like, as a general rule of thumb, the people around me, when I'm upset, they know that it will take more than just asking me once for me to all of a sudden feel open enough. And it's the same way, like, they're just different personalities that all of us have, and they just manifest differently. And I think if you want to make somebody feel comfortable enough and happy enough to continue to express themselves to you, you have to create certain like, you have to put certain principles in place. This video was, it really reminded me, like, filming this and sitting down here really reminded me of when I started YouTube, because I would literally like pick a topic and just say everything, like just clear my mind on everything that I had to say about it. And that's basically how this is. So it's not like a thing to live by. I'm going to put the book in the description as well. It talks about your whole life, but obviously a really important part of your life is your relationships. Shout out to Bay for hooking me up to this book. I'm sure he's going to ask me after he watches this video how far I've gone in the book. I'm actually on page 120. How you feel now? Guys, I think it's important, especially with everything that is going on in the world right now, to have conversations and to talk about the things that you feel don't even need to be talked about. Those things that you feel like people have established in your relationship, reestablish and reaffirm them now, and know what it is, know what the deal is. Don't go based on, yeah, we've been working with this analogy since, or we've been working with this for the past how many years now, so why should it all of a sudden need to be reviewed? People change, times change. The scenario, like what is going on right now, is a giant change. So it only makes sense that this is a good time to review things. You don't realize how much the assumptions that you have will creep up on you and spoil the communication lines that you have open. So if you feel like you've been getting on somebody's nerves, or they've been getting on your nerves, and you expect that they should know certain things, tell them, I told you, speak to me like I am a 5-year-old. I will not take offense. Why will I not take offense? I already know I have sense. 1, 2, I am willing to learn to make this relationship, friendship, romantic relationship, marriage, whatever, work. So please feed me, give me the cheat codes to make life easier for both of us. Does that make sense? That's why I'm still alive another week. That's also why he's still alive another week. We thank God for God's mercies. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. I don't know if the hair has given me a little more attitude. Let me know how you feel about it. He said he doesn't hate it, but then he said this is not his favorite color on me. So, but then that don't matter because like I be loving it and shit. But let me know. Even Alfred said that he doesn't really like it, but like all the girls in my life are like dying on this color, and apparently it suits me so well. But like take the poll here and let me know what you think. Let me know if you're like a hater but a lover, or if you're just like, me, just enjoying life and enjoying all of this. Before I leave, do not forget, guys, that you are sugar, you are spice, you are bomb jollof rice. I haven't shaved. Right now, I'm wearing a maternity bra that I've turned into a sports bra because, like, I'm at home. Like, why should I just be wasting clothes? You know what I mean? All right, guys. Bye. Mwah.